Welcome to the Horror Hangout podcast where film fans watch the best and worst movies of all time and talk about them. Today's episode is something a little bit different. It's a bonus episode chatting all about an upcoming narrative horror video game. My name is Ben Errington, and today I'm joined by a very special guest. Connor Rush is the founder of FYRE Games and the mastermind behind Project Songbird. Welcome to the show, Connor. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate the adjective of very special. I feel very special, Ben.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm glad you're happy with that. Definitely a very, very special guest because I saw you in the flesh on stage at the Horror Game Awards, and I thought this guy has got so much charisma that we need this guy on the show in some form at some point soon.
I appreciate that. What a crazy experience that was. Like
Yeah, it must have been.
the moment that I saw the post from the Horror Game Awards guys, it's Will, Ash, and Phil. They were like, "We're doing an in-person thing." I immediately messaged. I think it's Will that runs the Horror Game Awards account, and I was like, "How I want to take part in this in any way I can." And I think he responded almost immediately with, "We were going to invite you to present anyways."
Hell yeah.
So I went to my dad and I was like, "Would it be crazy if I left for London next month?" He was like, "Go for it." And it
That
was an
would be
early,
crazy. And you
yeah, it was
did
an
it.
early Christmas gift. So he got me a plane ticket, got me a Verbo, and
Oh yeah,
I
man.
got to hang in London for a week. It was awesome. Excellent.
Oh wow, man! And how did you find it? Obviously, it was the first in-person event for the Horror Game Awards as well. Have you been to London before?
No, I've barely traveled out of the US.
Mm.
The only other time was Italy, like 2 or 3 summers ago.
Oh, lovely.
And honestly, London was, for me at least, was stranger in that it was so much more similar to the US. But you find little things. There's like little tiny
Yeah.
things that'd be different.
Mm.
I'd get that little drop in my stomach every time I'd get in a vehicle and it was on the wrong side of the road. I'd
Yeah.
see the buses with ads for Zootropolis.
Oh yeah. That confuses me because I feel like I'm just living in like a alternate universe. You know when in
Yeah,
like time travel movies when they go back and there's just those very slightly different things. I'm like, I was sure it was called Zootopia.
yeah, and funny enough, I know it's like a running gag in the US. It's like, oh, food in the British people food, like, oh, it doesn't taste like anything. But I had some really good food. I was
That's
eating
good.
real good.
I'm glad to hear it. Probably none of it was British then, if that's the case.
You know what? You do say that, but I don't think it was.
I had some lovely
I
British lasagna. It was beautiful.
No, I did have I had some amazing Indian food, which I heard is like a big thing in the UK.
Yeah, yeah,
Which makes
definitely.
sense. I know that the UK has borrowed a lot of like curries and stuff for
Mm,
like British dishes. But
yeah.
I had dashum. Is that the correct
Oh,
name?
I'm not sure I'm familiar
Like
with that, Connor.
it's
I'll be
it's like
honest.
the so in the US when you get Indian, you're not typically going to find like a nice Indian place. Like it's going to taste amazing, but usually you're finding like some hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Um, so when I was thinking Kensington. I just looked
Hmm.
up best Indian near me and saw this place. I was like, oh, 4.9 stars. It's Dishoom. It's going to be great.
Oh, I can't go
So I
wrong.
pulled up with like torn jeans, some boots, and like an old hoodie that had like stains on it. And I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna grab some food. It's gonna be good. They had valet parking. It was like a
Oh
man
my
in a
God.
suit guided me to my table in front of a live jazz band. I was I
I
was so
mean,
underdressed, out of my element.
I've been to plenty of Indian restaurants. I have never been to one with valet parking or a live jazz
Uh,
band. So you found a
but it
good one.
was it was the best Indian I've ever had,
Okay.
easily.
That's good. That's
So
good.
so Dashum, if you're looking for a sponsorship here, let me know. On top of that, I had Georgian food for the first time. I
Georgian food.
forget. Yeah, I forget what the place was called. It was near Brick Lane.
Okay.
Me and my friend Chase were going to the Vintage where I got my little suit for the award
Mm.
show.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
you're looking good, man. You're looking
I
incredibly
appreciate
dapper.
it. It was like one of the cheapest blazers I could find at the Vintage.
No one would ever know. No one would ever know. But yeah, I mean,
I
when you made your presentation as well, I mean, like your energy was great. Like I think everyone in the room was kind of like there with you for it. They were really infused by your
Thank
presentation,
you.
and of course, when the trailer was shown as well, that was super cool. Were you happy with how the reactions went down to the trailer?
Oh, absolutely. No, it was beyond my expectations. I mean, if you rewatch the showcase, I had to pause a few times just laughing because of how many interruptions of cheers there were. I feel like I couldn't get a sentence through. People were cheering every time I was talking. I was like, geez, I appreciate it.
Let me speak. Yeah, Connor, come on.
I rewatched a lot of the streams afterwards
Mm.
too. I did talk for I think a bit longer than a lot of people did, which I do feel slightly embarrassed about. I watched one chat where someone was like, "Tell this man to put the mic down,"
Oh no! Oh, you looked at the
uh,
comments. Oh
which
no!
is it's very funny. I think it's funny,
Yeah,
and I'll do it again next year. I'm gonna
do
get
it
a
again
weirder
next year.
suit at the vintage too.
Get go for an even better Indian meal, have a better
Even
suit,
better.
and speak for twice the length of time I would if
Oh,
I
I'm
was
gonna
you.
have a whole like essay with me and put the readers on, sit there with my paper in front of me. But no, response was incredible. And I'm so glad that everyone I've talked to has said that like just my energy up there was very good. Which I appreciate it. I spent a lot of time trying to memorize what I was going to be saying. And I do have like, public speaking experience. I've done a few podcasts before. I used to be
Mm.
in like school politics.
Oh wow, okay.
I like doing interviews. I like acting. So all of this just like kind of comes naturally to me, but I always do get nervous
Mm.
that I'm gonna like trip on stage or flub my
Yeah,
words so
it's
badly and
it's
get
just one of the.
tomatoes
Oh
thrown.
God, no, never. Well, I don't think there was. All the food was delightful, but I don't think anyone wanted to lob any of that at you. I feel the same though. Yeah, no matter how much public experience you have, as soon as you're up on stage and those lights are on you, is a bit like you kind of forget everything. But yeah, you did extremely well, and Project Songbird looks great as well. I mean, let me just give some details of the game to our
Okay.
audience if they're not aware. So, Songbird is a cinematic first-person narrative horror game set in the Appalachian forest. Is that right? The player takes on
So
the
yeah,
role of
Appalachian.
Appalachian. Yeah, I should
Yeah.
know that. The player takes on the role of Dakota, a musician who must record their album in a remote log cabin amidst a writer's block. Take caution, however, these woods were never empty. Terrifying. So obviously this links to, with obviously game development, but you are a musician as well, so your familiarity with that as a narrative plot point as a structure. Where did the idea for this game kind of first marinate? Where did it come from originally?
So it was very much like a write what you know sort of inspiration. I had just released my game Summerland,
Mm,
and it did incredibly well. Like that is the best I've ever had a game do just in terms of reception and downloads and popularity. Um, and that added some stress. And I
mm,
was definitely getting in this headspace of I like need to follow it up. I need to do something that is equally as good and people like just as much. And I didn't have an idea for a while. Summerland came out the end of 2020, and I didn't start Songbird until like the end of 2021. So I sat on that for a while, just trying to think, what do I do next? What do I make that people will like and that will, have the same success? And I don't know why, but me and my roommates during my sophomore year of university were watching a movie called Thoroughbreds with Anya Taylor-Joy, which is very good. It's like a
yeah.
psychological thriller.
Mm,
Um, but for some reason, just the tone of that and the presentation of it, I was like, I want to make something very cinematic. I want to make
mm,
like a filmic game. And then for some reason, it just hit me. I was like, write what you know.
mm,
Do make a story that you can fit in this framework that you can take from experience. So I was like, Appalachian Forest. I grew up in West Virginia. My family had a cabin like exactly in this Tucker County woods where the game takes place. The whole map is based on that campground that I grew up around. The like musician angle, I was deep into recording my band's third album at the time. And a lot of the themes surround the artistic process and the creative process. And obviously, something I was struggling with at that time was living up to expectations and creating something people would enjoy. And how do I navigate that? So that became the crux of the theming around this game and the writing around this game. Uh, I spent way too long writing this script. I think probably about a year and a half till I got the final version. There was many drafts up until that point, and the first draft looks nothing like the final. Um, and yeah, that's just kind of how it came about. I watched a lot of horror movies. Probably more movies came into inspiration than games did. A lot of
Mm.
like the slow burn A24 art house type of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Hereditary. What else? Eggers. Geez, couldn't think of his name. Like The Witch or The
Yeah.
Lighthouse, which is one of my favorites of all time.
Oh
The
wow. Okay.
Ritual, which is a slept-on movie. I love
The
The Ritual.
ritual's great. Yeah, the ritual
Uh,
really is great. Yeah.
but a lot of
Um,
that stuff I drew on, and
mm.
that's kind of all mushed together into Project Songbird.
Is that where you start then? You start with writing the script. Is that pretty much where you start? You try and get the script completely finished before anything else happens?
Absolutely not. I
Okay.
am. I work in a way that I don't encourage anyone to work, and that I'm winging it a lot of the time. I'll usually come up with an idea, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta develop this. So I start working on it in Engine, start programming it, getting the gameplay systems, and then later down the line, we'll see if it works and if we need to like improve on it.
Yeah.
Which eventually we get to that polishing stage where everything's working together, everything's kind of harmonizing. Uh, but I'm very all over the place with my process. This is probably the first time I've been so script focused. Um, and it was a situation where like I need the script to be 100% before I get like actors involved or I get like a lot of this crew involved. So that was a priority, but I'm definitely a little, you know, what's the word? I'm bouncing all over the place to do whatever ideas come to mind at the moment.
You're pinballing all around the
Yeah,
place.
yeah, it's accurate.
Is it quite a solo sort of project for you for a while until you start bringing people in? Is there a process where you kind of like work on everything on your own for a while, or do you collaborate in these early stages?
I'm very much a proponent of collaboration, and I think I work more solo than I should.
Mm,
I Project Songbird is predominantly a solo project, and I'm not hesitant to call it such. But there are other people involved that have made it possible to get this game done. I do a lot solo at the start, and I'd say at the start is the most solo the game will be because I'm still trying to figure out with myself what's going to be. I had a writing partner in my friend Jasmine that did a lot of the initial work on that script, um, and but ultimately it comes down to like this solo development. Then once I have a more firm idea of what this is going to be, what I'm going to need, I start filling in gaps. I'm going to do everything solo that I can, mostly because I love doing it. Like
mm,
programming, I'm gonna do by myself. Like directing, cinematography, like a lot of the creative stuff, I'm gonna do where I can. I can't 3D model. I'm awful at 3D modeling. I don't know the first thing, so I'm gonna get a contractor to fill in gaps where I just am not knowledgeable.
mm.
So a lot of the enemies, a lot of little environmental details that needed to be custom. I had a 3D modeler do. I have an artist in Denise Stout who was at the Horror Game Awards actually. They did a lot of the key
Oh
arts
wow.
as well as enemy designs. Um, my amazing casting director Jenny Yokobori. She, got in contact with all of the incredible actors and the cast and helped me produce this thing along with like SAG negotiations, which was a pain, and I wouldn't have been able to
Wow.
do it
Yeah, of
without her.
course.
But in addition, like music, I love to do the music, but I was like, I am too busy. I can't take this
Yeah.
on. So I got my bandmates to do like scoring stuff for the game,
Oh,
which
sweet.
they killed it, knocked it out of the park. Anytime I have someone play the game and they give feedback, it's like music was exceptional. Like no notes, like you need to have an award for this. And I'm like, thanks, I didn't do it. I'll tell all the guys though that they did an amazing job.
Well done, guys. I mean that's awesome. That's really really cool. And I have so with Fire Games, you guys have done. Is it 7 games so far? Seven?
Yeah,
Seven?
yeah. So FYRE Games is more of a pseudonym than anything. It's kind of my like my developer name.
Mm,
If I'm doing a solo project, I release under FYRE Games. If I have collaborators, it's a FYRE Games production.
mm.
Um, so yeah, 7 games now. Songbird will be the seventh.
Do you feel like you learn something new every single time you sort of
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
I the first one released when I was like 13. So
Oh my
I didn't know
God,
what I
no
was doing.
way.
I didn't know what I was doing. I started teaching myself how to like make games when I was like 10. And
Oh, wow.
like The first one's bad. The first two are bad. Go play them. You're allowed. They're free on Steam, but I'm not going to recommend you do it. But yeah, every time I make something, it's just me learning how to develop games more. I'm happy that I'm finally at a stage where I'm making games that I'm confident in like marketing and pushing out there and being like,
Mm.
yeah, take a look at this, buy it, here it is. Uh, but yeah, I'm just it's a learning process every time, and my next game's going to be even more of a learning process than the last. Songbird is the most intense game I've ever developed in terms of just, you know, management and having unions involved and contracts and multiple people developing. And this is like the first time I've had a team like
Yeah.
around me doing everything by the books, official. It's the least DIY product. It's still very DIY, but it's the least DIY production I've had for sure.
It's amazing. So I guess people could see your entire journey as FYRE Games on Steam and available sort of from the
And
first game
and
all the way through to the last to see how far
and
you've
that's
come.
why I like keeping all of my old stuff up.
Yeah, you've
Um,
got to do
as
that. I
Yeah, as
suppose.
rough as all of it is, as a lot of it is, I want people to see. Like, look at this game I made when I was in middle school where I did voice acting,
Oh,
which
hell yeah.
yeah, it's not good. But you can play it and it's there. And then I did another game when I was like 15 or 16. And I also voice acted and did a British accent,
Did you?
which is not good.
I feel like I want to hear this. I want to hear this British accent.
And then I made Summerland. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to voice in this one for obvious reasons.
Okay, okay. Um,
Um,
but yeah, I mean that's super cool. I guess it's similar in terms of like you as a musician as well. So you're in the band Auric
mhm.
Echoes as well as a
Yeah.
bass player and a front man, as a
Mhm.
singer. I guess it's one of those things where whenever you put out music as well, you kind of every single time you want to kind of better yourself, don't you? You want
Yeah.
to put something better, but you still want to be able to have the journey that you've gone on available for everybody to check out as well, because people are going to resonate with earlier stuff and later stuff in different ways. So
Oh,
yeah.
for sure. Like the first EP and album I released, the first two albums in the EP I released were all solo projects. The first album was like all just me messing around. It was the most like DIY recording setup you could imagine.
Mm.
I was editing my music on a movie editor. Um,
Oh yeah.
but is
Oh man.
it's not great, but it's there. And then I made the second album. I had like my friend Jonah, who also does music on Songbird, which I've been working with Jonah for years and years. He came into drums on the album,
Yeah.
and I talked to him. I was like, "Hey, I'd love to like play these songs live and tour around. Would you want to like start a band?" And he was like, "Sure." So he hopped on as my drummer. I got a high school friend of mine. His name is Jacob Noska, who did the score for Songbird, played guitar, and we kind of played around as a trio doing that second album. Eventually got a saxophone player in my friend Erwin, who does some music on Songbird as well,
Oh
and a
wow.
keyboard player in Tyler Rozier, who again does music on Songbird. All
Yeah.
my bandmates did music, um, and we, as a band, like as this five piece, recorded the third album, wrote it together. It was no longer a solo project in any fashion, and it's our best work for
Yeah.
sure. We're on a little hiatus now. Jacob left the band. No bad blood. He's busy. He has stuff to
Mm.
do. And then we all just kind of disbanded from there. So we might bring it back soon. We might not. We're
Yeah.
all kind of doing our own
You're
things.
all doing your own thing. You're all incredibly
Mhm.
busy. It's good that you can collaborate on music and the game stuff as well. That's super super cool.
Oh, and
Um.
they destroyed it on the music front.
Mm.
Jacob Noska, I approached him because his style of music is that like slow burn, artsy, post rock adjacent, like
Oh
ambient
man,
work.
nice. That's
And I was like,
great.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I need for Songbird. And he plays a lot with those messy acoustic sounds and jangly metal sounds. And I wanted to evoke that Appalachian, like rough, like twangy timbre. And
Mm.
he killed it on that front. With Jonah, on the other hand, doing almost the opposite. We can talk more about it in a bit if you'd like, but the whole story is about Dakota going out into this cabin to record an album,
Mm.
and that album is very, very adjacent to something like a Tame Impala record or like something by Gorilla Toss. And I told Jonah, I was like, could you make like 10 tracks
Oh
that's just
wow.
like a Tame Impala adjacent album? And he did it. He has 10 songs on this in this game that you can fully listen through, like a whole LP.
Yes, that's
Uh,
awesome. I love that.
it's so over the top in just how much music was made for this game,
Yeah.
but I'm so happy that it's all there.
So like the soundtrack within the soundtrack, pretty much that exists.
Yeah, yeah, we
That's
got an
cool.
album inside of a game, inside of a whatever else. There's a lot of weird meta stuff going on here.
Yeah, I love the meta stuff. When he was doing it, was he kind of like going, "I'm going to hold back a little bit because I don't want to make it like the most exact Tame Impala record"? Did he just go all out?
It definitely is not like a ripoff of Tame Impala. Like he did his own thing with it. Um, this doesn't mean much to everyone else, but for me listening to it, I'm like, oh, this is 100% Jonah.
Okay,
Because Jonah
okay.
was my band's drummer. He also acted as my band's like audio engineer and like producer. So if you listen to any of the new Auric Echo stuff, which is the band I'm in,
Mm,
and then listen to the album that is going to be within Project Songbird, you will hear so many of those production
mm.
tendencies, and I love it. He is such a good engineer. Any musicians out there, if you want a good, producer and mixing guy, reach out to Jonah Henthorn. He's a cool dude. He's awesome.
Exactly. Get him in there. So how is the development process currently going? Have we got a release date officially?
We have a release date not announced yet.
I thought so because
Um,
I was trying to work out if there was a release date so we could discuss it, and I couldn't seem
so
to
we
find anything
we
solid.
are releasing Q1
Yeah, I saw that.
2026. And we have a very, very likely release date. We have a trailer set up to announce it, and we have a very, very cool place that we're planning to announce that trailer. We're going to release it somewhere really cool, but none of it is 100% confirmed. We're like at the 99%, so I don't want to say anything here just in case.
Oh no, I
Uh,
wouldn't push you to. I wouldn't.
but I
We
don't know
do
when
love
this
an
comes out.
exclusive on this podcast. We do love an exclusive, but of course I wouldn't push you.
Well, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but
Q1.
near the end of January, I'd say.
Oh my God, so it's not far away at all.
Not that's the announcement, not the release date. The
Okay, okay, I've
announcement
got
of
you.
the release date. So I'm not trying to get you too excited. Um, the announcement of that release date probably near the end of January.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out
But
for
it's
it,
gonna be really cool.
absolutely.
It's gonna be great.
Can we talk about the platforms that the game's going to be available on?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's on Steam and it's on
Um,
consoles as well, isn't it?
yeah, we're hitting PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series.
That is so incredible.
That's like the stage of development we're at right now. We're
Mm.
near the tail end of the porting process, and localization. So actually, I got like the Spanish localization in today that I've been going through and adding.
I can't even begin to imagine all the work that must be going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, honestly, so I have a publisher this time around, and they're helping a ton. They're getting like that port set up and getting the localization done. So mad shout out to Dojo for getting me situated there. Appreciate it.
Oh,
Doing all the
amazing.
work they need to do.
Looking forward to it. Should we talk any more about the game itself? I guess like the gameplay style, what people should
No, we're not
potentially
allowed. I
expect.
refuse. I refuse your
You're,
question. This
you're
interview's over. But
no.
oh yeah, yeah. What all you want to know? Let's get into it.
I guess like let's just for sort of people who don't play many horror games or people maybe people who have played only first person horror games, how would you kind of like explain? Is it a lot of puzzle based stuff, a lot of narrative choices, any like tr any like narrative trees or anything like that? What kind of things have we got going on?
So some of my favorite games of all time, and anyone who's not familiar with the genre is going to kind of laugh at the name, but walking simulators. I
Yes,
love the walking sim genre.
definitely.
Firewatch is one of my all-time favorites,
Yeah,
as is
I was going to
was that?
mention Firewatch, but I didn't
Yeah.
want to be like derivative. I didn't want to be like I feel like this has got Firewatch vibes. So I feel like Firewatch was great, but maybe it was lacking. It was always like there was always the next thing where I was thinking there's something sinister going on, and it never quite delivered in terms of what sinister was. Some people might like that. I definitely liked it.
See,
Um,
I loved it. I loved that as well as Edith Finch. What Remains of Edith
oh
Finch
yeah,
gave me
that's great
similar
as
vibes.
well. Yeah, absolutely.
Which also, if you didn't know, the lead actor of our game, Valerie Rose Loman, is Edith Finch. So
Oh
Dakota
wow,
and
I
Edith
didn't
Finch
know that.
share a voice. Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. That's
Uh,
super cool. Yeah.
and they are an incredible actor.
Mm.
It's like it was incredible getting to work with them. We had like so many sessions going through this massive script I had written, and I mean the performances will speak for themselves. And I'd love to talk more about the actors in a bit. But as for like the game itself, that walking sim genre is one of my favorites. And Project Songbird, I think, sits firmly within that with a bit more added.
Mm.
All of my games up to this point have been like that kind of walking sim. And I really wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone for Project Songbird. And specifically, I was really into Resident Evil 7 when it came out.
Mm. Yeah.
Especially the gameplay. Something about the gameplay in RE7 just really clicked for me.
Mm.
With being it feeling smooth but also tense and slow and it just balanced everything perfectly. And I wanted to do some sort of first person survival horror adjacent
Mm.
gameplay style. I whenever I talk about it, I do call it survival horror light because I'm not going like full on into the genre conventions you'd expect out of something like a Resident Evil or Silent Hill.
Mm.
The inventory management is much more forgiving. The combat is much more simple. The puzzles um, aren't as intense. I don't feel, anyways. I want to really be that narrative focused experience while adding these little touches of survival horror and psychological horror and puzzle game. But I want narrative to be the focus. I went into this saying I don't want to make the scariest game. I want to make the best game.
Mm.
Um, so focusing on telling a good story was the primary approach.
Sounds great, and I mean, survival horror is one of those genres, isn't it? Where I think some of the big hitters, especially like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, they do stray into like action after a while. You kind of get like this
Mhm.
first third of the game that kind of like sets up the story, sets up the environment, and after a while, you find yourself just like blowing away monster after monster after monster. So sometimes I like it when a game really sticks with that survival horror element, and especially when it's story focused as well. I think that really works.
Mhm. But
Yeah,
I don't think that's bad either. Like I love the Resident Evil games and I love when they get crazy.
absolutely. Yeah, me
I'm
too.
so excited for Resident Evil 9. I saw Leon with the chainsaw. I'm ready to hop into that.
Yeah, I know.
But
That was I didn't expect it either. I was kind of thinking Leon's definitely not going to be anywhere near this game, and then all of a sudden, I just can't wait to go back to Raccoon City. I'm so
oh,
excited
it's
for
gonna
that.
be great. I'm a massive RE fan. But no, when I was developing this and designing it, my thought was like I'm taking so much inspiration from that slow burn art house style of horror
Mm.
movie that I really want to invoke that throughout. And I don't think building up to massive action is the way to do that. So
Mm.
combat, while you do get those moments of stealth and action, a lot of this game is you listening to dialogue and experiencing this narrative and going through these atmospheric, surrealist dreamscapes. That's another thing. Surrealism was a much bigger part of this than it ever has been with my development process.
Okay.
I was getting very into David Lynch
Oh wow, yeah, okay.
months before he passed,
Mm.
which is it was absolutely heartbreaking to hear. Uh, but a lot of inspiration from his works, Twin Peaks, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, um, and the works he inspired. Alan Wake 2 was like my game of the year, easy
Oh wow,
when that came
okay.
out.
Oh, amazing.
Um, and anytime I show people Songbird, they're like, "This is massive Alan Wake 2 vibes." And it's funny, like a lot of
That's
those
good.
things were there before I had played the Alan Wake series.
Mm.
We happen to do a lot of similar things, which is I think is very funny.
Yeah.
I take it as a badge of honor. Like, man, me and Sam Lake had the same ideas. Crazy, love it.
You and Sam Lake are like that. You're just locked in together.
I just bought the Oh Dear Diner mug. And,
Oh wow,
and
man.
one day I'm gonna meet him and I'll be like, Sam, pull out my mug. We're gonna share a coffee together. We're
Yeah,
gonna
because I
film
mean,
it.
obviously,
It's gonna be
very
great.
Twin Peaks, sort of like heavily Twin Peaks in the Alan Wake too, and obviously like cabin stuff,
Mhm.
cabin and forest stuff. That's probably not the best way of describing it, but yeah, it's great and atmospheric. Any big musical numbers for Project Songbird like Alan Wake too?
Oh, I wish. I think I need to hit the drawing board. We gotta rewrite a scene. There
Right,
is,
see,
I will say, there is some weird FMV stuff
Mm.
to expect in Project Songbird. Very, somewhat similar to what you see in Alan Wake. So be
Mm.
excited for that if you're into FMV at all.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure our listeners will be super, super hyped for anything to do with this. So where's the best place to follow you, just to keep up to speed with everything that you're putting out and FYRE Games as well, just so everybody can keep this announcement, this big announcement potentially happening at the end of January. Where can everybody keep up to speed with you?
Yeah, so my best platforms are probably Instagram as well as X/Blue Sky.
Mm.
For Instagram, you could find me at Connor, that's Connor with an ER, CONNER _W _rush. On X and Blue Sky, you could find me at FYRE Games,
Mm.
FYRE Games. And on TikTok, my handle is Treasure Man, but you could also just look up Connor Rush, should come up. Uh,
All over the
and worst
place.
case, just go to FYREgames.com. That's FYRE games.com.
Amazing. Absolutely great. So what at what stage of you making a game do you start thinking about the next project? Is it something that's kind of always ticking, always cooking away in your head while you're finishing a game, or are you completely 100% locked in on Project Songbird until it's done, until it's out the door, and then you're thinking about something else?
Next project usually starts to start spinning around in my head before the release of the current one, mostly because I think I hit this panic button where I'm like, oh, that's right. I have to make new things. Especially with Songbird. This is the longest I've ever spent on a game. And that's both due to its complexity and because I was in college, which in the UK I know is more akin to university. Um,
Mm,
I was in school at the time for 3 years, and I had a job right after that. So, the time to work on it was very small.
mm.
But 4 years I spent on Songbird, and I kind of forgot how to make new games.
Yeah, I bet.
Luckily, I got the juices flowing. I had a great opportunity with my good friend John Samansky, who did My Friendly Neighborhood. Did a collaborative game jam with Jacksepticeye, which I got to take
Oh
part
wow,
in. I
okay.
made a
That's
game
cool.
called Dim, along with Denise Stout of Songbird and my friend Cody Reeder, who runs the game studio Phantom Sloth. We made a game together. It won, I think, third place in the game jam. So we got to release on a collection with Jacksepticeye and John, which is
Oh
awesome to
hell
do.
yeah.
But that got me making new things. So I'm like, all right, I didn't forget how to do it. We can do this.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just like riding a
and then,
bike.
yeah, yeah, genuinely, like I forgot like how much I enjoy starting a new project.
Mm.
But that definitely got me back invested. So for my next one, there might already be some stuff in the talks. So I won't say much right now. But some conceptualization is happening.
Mm.
Uh, this would be, and this might not. I'm going to be very vague because this might not even happen. But it is my first not fully original project.
Oh,
If it does
okay.
happen, so I'm talking with some IP
Interesting.
holders
Yeah.
for a potential adaptation game, um, which would
That's
be a
super
very
exciting.
a
Yeah.
very cool thing to explore for me.
Yeah.
Everything I've made up to this point has been like my original concept, but I would love to explore something else, and if I can adapt something into a game, I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. Do you think you'd always stick with horror, survival horror? Do you feel like you'd like to expand into other genres as well?
Oh, I mean, honestly, horror has been an outlier for me. Project Songbird was my first dedicated like I'm gonna make a horror game.
Mm.
Uh, then everything I've made amidst Project Songbird was also horror. I won't go too into details. I was starting Project Songbird the end of 2021, and I was like, this is going to be my first horror game.
Mm.
Um, then when I started that, I got reached out to by Dread XP, and they were like, "Hey, would you like to be on Dread X Collection 5? It's a horror game anthology." I was like, "Okay." So I made a horror game for them, and then the Jamsepticeye thing came out, which was a Halloween game jam. So I made a horror game for that.
Yeah.
Um, but horror wasn't like my thing. I was
No.
making primarily like dramas, like thriller dramas.
Okay. Okay.
But I've always been a horror movie fan. It's honestly my favorite movie genre. But I'd love to explore out more. Horror has found me a lot of success, but I'm not one to rest on my laurels. So, anytime I can experiment with something else, learn more, get uncomfortable, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I guess you got to
Um,
push yourself and challenge yourself,
I
haven't
want
you?
to push
Absolutely.
myself. I'm going to make a full-on musical now. Alan
A
Wake has
massive
inspired
Alan
me.
Wake style musical with dance numbers, big song and dance numbers. Hell yeah.
Hmm.
Can we talk about like the kind of things you post on social media as well? Because I really enjoy watching the videos that you post when you talk
Also,
about
yeah, yeah, yeah.
indie gaming and you kind of like have an interesting challenge or like an interesting point of view to jump off from something. So, for example, one recently, how I fixed my game by being a little evil, which is one thing.
Yeah.
It's great though, isn't it? Because I think it gets people watching. Like it really, me, I don't know too much about the process of game development and everything like that. So it's very interesting to see some sort of like behind the scenes stuff, but also some decisions that you have to make as a
Yeah.
developer. Some big decisions.
I I need to be better at social media. I don't post
That's
nearly
great.
enough.
No, honestly, it's,
I posted a
you
video like
post
two
great.
days ago. And it's getting a lot of views, and I'm super happy that it is. I'm surprised that it is because I don't post at all. But honestly, something getting me back into it to talk about him again. John Szymanski is currently making a new game, and I've been hired on as his like social media guy. So I've been making videos for John. His
Oh,
studio's
lovely.
Ducky Dev. We He has a game coming out. I, I don't know when, but I'm helping like post social media stuff. So, look up Ducky Dev on social medias if you want to see some more videos from me talking about a totally different game.
As if you've not got enough on your plate, Connor. As if you've
I
not
keep
got.
myself busy. I keep myself busy. But I'd be going crazy if I wasn't busy. I love doing it. Any chance to be inside of game development, I'm gonna be taking it.
Yeah.
Um,
We mentioned a little bit
we,
earlier about the cast. Can you and you wanted to talk a little bit about the cast?
oh yeah, yeah.
Is it quite a small cast that you've kind of got for this game?
Small cast with some very, for me, big names. Like
Mm.
I never in a million years did I think I'd have a cast of this caliber on a project of mine. It's an honor to have gotten all these people. Like, of course, we already mentioned Valerie.
Mm.
Valerie is our lead protagonist with Dakota. They are incredible. In addition, we have in the supporting leads Jonah Scott, who is a great friend of mine. He was in my previous game, We Never Left, which was on the Dread X collection. As Rob, Jonah Scott, you might know from Dying Light 2.
Oh,
As I think the
cool.
main character is Aiden.
Yeah.
Um, but in addition, he's a big like anime guy. He was the lead in Beastars, as well as very underrated anime Super Crooks on Netflix.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. I'm just looking at his the stuff he's been in, and that was exactly what I was looking at then. The Super Crooks. Yeah, I've not actually seen that, but I've heard
um,
great things about it.
Jonah's an excellent actor, and when we had him in for the Songbird sessions, we booked out like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, we might need to have like a second session. He got like every line perfect, take one, and we were there for maybe 45 minutes.
Well, see
Um,
you later. We're only paying you for 45 minutes. All the best.
no, we paid him the full two. We paid him everything he needed. But no, Jonah is one of my favorite people to work with. Like I said, he was in We Never Left. And we've honestly really hit it off
Mm.
doing projects together. We have a not contractual, but a DM agreement that I anytime I make a game, I have to cast him in it.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking to that. So, my next game, expect a Jonah roll. I,
Mm.
I like working with him so much. He's excellent. But in addition, the other supporting lead is Alex Lee, who is having an incredible moment right now with his career. He's been in so much cool stuff. Recently, Marvel Rivals as Daredevil.
Oh
He
my
was also the
God, no
lead, the
way.
lead in Solo Leveling. He was in that I think it's Nia, the
Mm.
Chinese animated movie
Oh,
that
okay.
got published by A24. But he's been having a crazy moment in his career right now. And the fact that he came on to do this little project is excellent. Is so crazy to me.
Cool.
Um, but you know what is also awesome is I'm, a freshly graduated student here. I'm 24. I don't have money. So my budget was near nothing. All of these actors were so on board to work with me and to, meet me where I am to find terms that we could both be happy with. And
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for them all doing that. And again, big thanks to Jenny Yokobori for helping me negotiate those with agents and with SAG and getting all those contracts signed. That was a um, incredible help.
Mm.
But to talk about some more actors in the supporting roles, I don't know if you're a D&D fan, but there is a pretty great D&D live show called the 20-Sided Tavern, based in New York. Actually, coincidentally, two of the cast members of that are in Project Songbird,
Oh wow. Okay.
those being William or Will Champion and Maddie Murphy, who both have some very out there roles. They play
Yes.
some of the more surreal characters in Project Songbird, and them doing these like D&D improv shows, I'm sure lends to them being able to put on these crazy voices and these
Yeah.
eccentric personalities, and they both do a phenomenal job.
My
And then
my
Chris,
my
oh
wife
sorry,
is hugely into D&D, so I feel like if I mention those names, she's definitely going to know who they are. So,
yeah, ask her about the 20-Sided Tavern. Both Jenny and Valerie recently guest starred on it. And it's an awesome show. They're on hiatus right now, I believe. But if they ever come back, I want to go see them live and say hi to everyone. My goal is to meet everyone in my cast in person. It's got to happen.
mm.
Um, but then also Christian Lamont, who is an awesome voice actor, has been in some of the Fire Emblem games, is also like behind the scenes in a lot of production stuff.
Mm.
He has a small little supporting role in it. Aside from that, I do some acting. Some friends of mine do some acting. Um, it was a great time. I loved making this game.
24 years old, 7 games under your belt, and you're pretty much involved in every aspect of the game development stuff. So that's super impressive, man. I'm just
I
when I was Googling you, I can't believe some of the pictures of you when you're younger, with your YouTube channel and various other things. I can't believe that's you. I'm like,
I appreciate it. It's very much just like I really like doing it, and I'd feel restless if I wasn't doing these things. Um, I don't know, it's that itch. I'm like, I got to do the next project. I got to work on the next thing, and
mm,
I'm glad that it's finally getting to a stage where I'm able to have some sort of um, notoriety, not in the sense that I'm like, oh, I need everyone to see what I'm doing, but in a sense that it could be a living. You know, I'm not at the stage where my solo work could pay the bills. That's not happening.
yeah,
Maybe with Songbird, we'll see how it does.
well,
But
dude,
all
it's
my
super.
games have been free.
Yeah,
This will be the first non-free game. So all these things I've been doing, they don't pay the bills, they don't put food on the table. But I feel like I'm finally getting the coverage in the press, I guess you want to call it, to
yeah,
where that's a potential future.
dude,
Especially like I said,
yeah,
with my next game possibly being an established IP.
yeah.
Um, I'm very excited to see where that takes me.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited to see where your career takes you. I'm going to be keeping tabs on you, definitely.
Thank you.
We'll update our audiences as much as we can about Project Songbird, about everything you're working on as well. Congratulations on the project. It's a huge
Thank you.
undertaking,
And
and
when the game comes out, I hope you guys play it, and I hope I can come right
definitely
back.
going to play it. Definitely going to
Talk
play it. Well,
about
we'd
a
love we'd
post-mortem.
well, we'd love to talk more about the about Project Songbird, and we'd also love to talk more about some movies. If you want to join us for a full episode, that would be great.
Gotcha.
Maybe one of the films that might have inspired um, Project Songbird. Obviously, we have covered.
Please.
We've had over 400 episodes, so we've covered a lot. But I'm sure there's something out there that maybe is one of your favorites. I don't think we've done a full episode on The Ritual, actually. Now you've mentioned it, so that could
Ritual's
be
a
a
good
potential.
that's one that's like sneaky good. No one talks about the ritual.
Have we
But
done it?
I've watched that a few times over, and every time I'm like, man, this has the Lost in the Woods vibes perfectly.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah. Lost in the
Uh,
Woods 5, great creature design, great
mhm.
atmosphere, um, and just a bunch of British lads, and it feels legit. It feels like you'd get
Yeah.
together with your mates and go and do this. It's a great film, definitely. Um,
Just curious. I don't mean to like divert too much from like interview territory, but like what so 2025 in horror movies. What are
mm.
some of your highlights?
Oh man, wow, what a question. We did like a end of year wrap up episode, which I wasn't a part of, unfortunately, on Horror Hangout. It was
Yeah.
co-host Andy and also one of our regular collaborators, Emma Cownley, who talked about it. Um, it's an interesting one because I loved a lot of the big ones. So I really loved Bring Her Back. That was
Yeah.
one of those films that had such a huge impact on me. I love Talk to Me as well. So that kind of I feel like they've kind of captured that sort of the Philippou brothers have really captured that sort of
Mhm.
really because grief horror is kind of one of those things that we've seen so much of, and the A24 slow burn stuff loves grief as sort of like that sort of focus point for horror.
Yeah,
I felt like Bring Her Back just did it so well. It had these characters that just felt relatable, characters you cared about, characters you felt cared about each other. I thought that was really important, and some absolutely gnarly stuff.
yeah.
I really love weapons, but because of the central mystery, I feel like once you've seen it and you know what the mystery is, maybe it's not as enjoyable the second time round. But the first time round
Yeah.
in theaters, when I had no idea what was going to happen, I had no idea what it was about, and the reveals and everything, I was just I was locked in, and I feel like that is the kind of cinematic experience that I love, just being absolutely locked in. What about
I'm
yourself
I'm
there, Connor?
I'm very excited for his take on Resident Evil whenever
Oh
that
man, me too.
comes
Because
about.
everything I've heard about it, Zach Kreger.
Mhm.
So we've got like a character who is apparently transporting some is it some blood? Is it like a blood guy or is it like a heart transplant guy and he gets sort of like swept up in what's happening in Raccoon City, something like that. I've
Oh,
read.
I didn't know there was like a synopsis already.
I don't know how legit this synopsis is, but it's the guy who was in Weapons as well. I'll have his
Yeah.
name in a second. But I think he's like so no established characters, which I think is a good choice. I feel like no established
Mhm.
characters, and also like no established lore. Essentially, it's kind of like a story about this character going through stuff, and it just so happens to be in the Resident Evil world. I think that's the best thing. I did want them to next do a adaptation of Resident Evil 7. You've mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
Um, now that I haven't, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't mind, but still,
I
it's
I
sorry,
I
John.
just think
Austin
he's like,
Abrams is the guy. Sorry.
yeah. I just think he's the best director to take on the Resident Evil franchise. He does such a good job of balancing the horror and comedy in a way that doesn't diminish either. And I
Yeah,
think Resident
definitely.
Evil has just enough camp where I'm so excited to see what he does with that.
Yeah, it's very
Uh,
camp. It's very B movie, isn't it?
yeah.
It's very camp and B movie. So, um, the fact that he's taken on, I'm super excited. I've seen some sets, some like snowy, bloody sets that they've kind of got. I think in the Czech Republic. I'm super excited for it. But yeah, what were your highlights of 2025? Would you say?
Man, I did not see Bring Her Back yet. I did love Talk to Me. And I've heard that it's even better. So I'm super excited to see that. Um, a lot of stuff like I'm not sure if it counts, but I loved Sinners. Phenomenal.
Oh, Sinners. Yeah,
Um,
Sinners.
Sinners was excellent. Presence. Did that come out this year or last year?
Presents. Yeah, presents. We've talked about presents. I feel like it was this year. I feel like it was this last year. Sorry, I feel like it was. Presents was great. Again,
I
another film where because I had no idea where it was going, I really enjoyed it. I was really locked in.
Yeah, I feel like I saw hate for Presence afterward, which I don't get. It was so good. I don't know if people just like because it wasn't very straightforward into being a horror movie. It was very much like a family drama, right?
Yeah, yeah.
With a paranormal backdrop.
Mm,
So I don't know if it was like that Robert Eggers thing where people went to see The Witch and didn't get what they wanted.
yeah.
Um, but I love The Witch, so I
Oh, The
love
Witch is great,
Presence.
man. The Witch is so
Um,
good. I feel like with Presents as well. It was. I mean, 2025 was the year of the POV, wasn't it? It was like POV of a ghost, POV of a dog, POV. I'm sure it's something else.
did not see Good Boy yet. I know Indy won the Astra.
Oh man, I was kind of disappointed by Good Boy. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
Indie is great. Indie is great.
Mhm.
There's no doubt in it. I just feel like narrative, story wise, it left. I don't know. I kind of was expecting
I get it.
something else. So I was expecting
Um,
something else. It was very, yeah.
but
I don't know. People
also
seem to have loved it. So that's good.
a weird highlight for me that I don't see people talking about as one of the best because it probably isn't one of the best, but I really liked it. VHS Halloween.
Oh hell yeah! VHS Halloween was great.
I think
Loved
it
it.
is. I love VHS 2, but I think VHS Halloween might be the best overall VHS movie, like period.
Yeah,
It's the most consistent lineup of shorts.
yeah.
And even when one would start where I was like, I'm not into this, by the end I was so on board.
By the end, you're on board. Exactly. Like even the
This
ones people didn't like so much, like the is it the baby one, the first one?
I thought that one was terrifying.
I loved it. It
The
was
creature
terrifying.
design of it was so unnerving.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
the guy. What was it?
Specifically like the Take One Please with like the candy monster guy
Yeah.
and like
Getting dragged
I
into the
started
candy
that
bowl.
and I was like, is this camp or is it bad? And then it kept going and getting more ridiculous. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's camp. And then I
Oh, it's
looked it
camp.
up. Like, oh, it's the guy that directed Too Many Cooks. Okay, I love this
Got you.
now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How did you feel about 28 years later? Because I'm gonna see 28 years later, the Bone Temple tomorrow, and we're doing an episode on it next week. Are you
I
vibing with
haven't
that?
seen it.
You not seen 28 years?
I haven't. So I'm a massive horror fan, massive horror movie fan. I feel like I've seen nothing. So I have not seen any of the 28 movies.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, you should have watched 28 Days Later before you
Yeah,
went to London because it is
I know.
like it's filmed on this like di it's filmed digitally and
Yeah.
it just feels so real. It feels like you're just like a fly on the wall watching
It
an
isn't it like
actual apocalypse.
480p or something?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I know
Um
there is like I remember seeing it in the cinemas when it came out and I was just like this looks awful but I love it.
mhm.
It's like
That's
it's
how I feel about Inland Empire.
oh,
It
okay.
looks so horrible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so good.
Oh man, that's cool. But yeah, you should
I
definitely join us for an episode soon. I mean, what we can do rather than sort of like trawling back through episodes to try and find something that like you want to talk about, we can talk about a new release so we can all
Yeah,
come
please.
into it fresh. Um,
Tell me what it is. Give me like a week's notice so I could find any free time to watch a movie.
oh
And
man, yeah. Well, I won't drop it on your plate while you're knee deep
Mhm.
in development and promotion for Songbird. But next few months we've got lots of free
Please.
episodes we
And
can get you in for.
anything coming out that you could foresee being a 2026 episode?
I mean, Scream Seven's coming out. Again, I don't know how you feel about slashers. Are you into slasher
I
movies?
don't listen. I'm such an open-minded guy when it comes to horror genres. I'll listen. I'll watch about anything you can hand me. Um,
This would be a good one, but it might not be out for a while. So obviously, Robert Eggers is doing Werewolf. He's doing a
yeah,
werewolf
I'm
movie.
so hyped for that.
Yeah, and
I
also
anything Eggers touches, I'm in.
yeah. I mean, it might be a while till that, but
Mhm.
we can definitely earmark you for that one. Obviously Lee Cronin's The Mummy as well. We had a teaser trailer for that yesterday.
I just saw. I didn't know the trailer came out. I just saw the poster
I mean,
drop.
just a tiny little teaser. There's not much going on really. It's kind of like it's just kind of sets the scene.
Mhm.
I'm super excited for that. Absolutely. And Evil
A
Dead
lot of good
Burn as well.
stuff.
Another Evil Dead movie.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't. I haven't
All
seen
happening.
the newer ones. Obviously the classics,
Yeah. Oh,
but
dude,
not like
have you
the
seen
anything.
2013's Evil Dead?
No, anything beyond that I have not seen yet.
2013's Evil Dead is an outstanding remake. I mean, it's absolutely nothing like the original. It's just
It came
gnarly.
out. It came out when I was far too young
Yeah,
to like go see it, and I was way too terrified to go. I was 12 when that came out, so I was like,
yeah.
this is too much for me.
I
I'm
can
good.
imagine 12-year-old me would have
Uh,
been absolutely scarred for life.
but I've heard all of the new Evil Deads have been great.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, definitely join us for one. It would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
absolutely great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for joining me to talk all about Project Songbird. We'll be
Oh, thank you for
updating.
having me.
Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Um, Obviously, I already asked. For some reason, I asked in the middle of the episode when I should have asked at the end. But everyone can keep up to speed with you. I guess do you post? Is it Instagram mainly you're posting on with you and FYRE Games?
Not I'm so bad at Instagram. I'm so bad at all my platforms, but I would say about gaming news, follow me on X and Blue Sky.
Okay.
Those again are FYRE Games on I think it's what is my X tag? It's either FYRE Games or like FYRE Games Real or something because there was already a FYRE Games.
Oh, there was already a
I think
FYRE
it's
game. How dare they?
I
Who do
think
they
I
think they are?
am I'm FYRE Games Real
Hmm. Okay, that's good.
on X. So FYRE Games Real,
Hmm.
and then on Blue Sky, I'm just FYRE Games.
Okay, cool.
That'll be my main gaming news. Otherwise, TikTok is Connor Rush, Instagram is Connor W Rush.
We'll put all of those links in the show notes. We'll put a link
Thank
to
you.
the trailer for Project Songbird. We'll put a link to the Steam wish list because a lot of people wish list did it, haven't they?
Mhm.
Did we hit 10? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
10,000?
Yeah, we hit 10,000.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
we're already up to 300 more. So we're at 10,300. So
Nice.
we're on the rise. Hopefully, we can hit like 20 by before release.
Mm.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Well, super excited to play it, Connor. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us. Thanks to everybody for listening. If you enjoyed the show, become a patron at patreon.com/horror hangout. Thanks to everybody on Acast and Rusty Quill for hosting the show. And thank you, Connor, for talking all about Project Songbird. And we'll chat to you again very soon. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to be back.
Thanks, Connor. Take care. Bye bye. See ya.